Big boats, billionaires, block tracks. It's the jewel in the Formula One crown. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. Let's go. Hello everybody, Richie from C&K Motorsport here. Yes, whether you like it or you hate it, it's the Monaco Grand Prix. And regardless of what most people think, I actually thought it was a pretty decent race. The first time for F1's new mandatory two-stop ruling, we'll give it a mixture of strategies, roadblocks, and after what seemed like an eternity, Max Verstappen's last lap pit stop. Formula One returned to the Principality with what now seems like a weekly one-off liveries and helmet reveals. A year on from one of the most popular victories of all time, Charles Leclerc unveiled another special Monaco-themed helmet and race suit, while McLaren gave us a livery which had a nod to Bruce McLaren's 1968 M7A, whilst drawing inspiration from the elegance of the Riviera. Now, what the hell that all means is lost to everyone bar the McLaren Sims. But just hurry up and give us the MP44 red and white Marlboro livery and be done with it, please. Anyway, during the week, the drivers all got together to sit down and watch Jerry Bruckheimer's diabolical take on Formula One with the geniusly named F1 the Movie. All the drivers except for Max, who was busy on his sim rig, and Lance, who was busy with his new set of crayons. If the Apple collab wasn't enough Americana for you, Mickey Mouse, who's been busy designing the Miami and Vegas street tracks, joined the show with an announcement of a Disney F1 partnership from 2026 onwards. Whether or not Ferrari are willing to release Goofy from their head of strategy position to join the rest of the Disney crew remains to be seen. So once all the press releases were done and Liberty stopped destroying any remaining bit of credibility the sport had, the cars finally hit the track around some of the most famous streets in motorsport for FP1. Lance put the crayons away long enough to completely shag Leclerc's front nose by literally driving straight into him, heading into the Lowe's hairpin. And despite this, the hometown hero would top the timesheets ahead of Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. FP2 would see Piastri and Hadjar go straight into the wall at Saint-Devoux, and Charles Leclerc again topping the timesheets. FP3 would see again Charles Leclerc top the timesheets before Lewis Hamilton would assure every session had a red flag by making love to the outside of the barriers at Massenet before coming to a stop at Casino Square. To quali, and Lando pissed on everyone's parade by denying Leclerc a pole position by lapping the Monte Carlo circuit in its quickest ever time of a 1 minute 9.954. A pretty impressive lap, and the onboards gave us a reminder of exactly why this race simply has to stay on the calendar. A quali session to forget for Mercedes, with Kimi Antonelli finding the wall after clipping the apex at the Nouvelle chicane. Then moments later, George Russell would come to a stop inside the tunnel, causing another red flag. So Lando ahead of Leclerc with Piastri in third. Hadjar, one of the standouts, in sixth. Race day in Monaco is like no other. The harbour jam-packed full of boats and the grid packed full of A-list celebrities. Another reason this race isn't going anywhere soon. To the race, and it was almost over for Lando into turn one, with a lock-up nearly putting him into the wall. He backed out of it long enough to grab the lead heading up the hill to Casino Square and to what surely was a race victory. Kimi Antonelli was caught napping into the Lowe's hairpin by Gabriele Bortoleto, but remedied that 2 corners later by fencing him into Portier. Any chance of a lap 1 safety car was annulled when Bortoleto was able to get the car out of the wall, although a virtual safety car would stay out for 4 laps. Team tactics were noticeable early, with Liam Lawson backing up the pack to allow for Isaac Hadjar to pit without losing a position. A tactics Williams would go on to use to much greater effect later on. More drama was to come on lap 9 when Gasly ran into the back of Tsunoda's Red Bull under braking for the Nouvelle chicane, forcing the Frenchman back to the pits and into retirement with a broken wheel. The first round of pit stops would allow Hamilton to jump Hadjar into 5th position, while the top 4 all pitted and remained in their same order. The Williams duo then backed the rest of the field up to perfection, allowing Albon to not only pit twice, but Sainz to get his stop done also. George Russell finally got some TV time for the first time this season, but it was for all the wrong reasons, as he straight-lined the Nouvelle chicane to jump Albon. Smugly thinking he'd only cop a 5-second penalty, the Mercedes driver copped a drive-through penalty, much to the amusement of pretty much every fan bar his. With Max Verstappen holding out for a red flag, he stayed out until the very last lap, allowing Lando to finally break free of Leclerc's relentless pressure to store home to his first Monaco victory. A well-deserved victory, and it must be said after his Saturday's heroics in qualifying. So Lando home in first ahead of Leclerc and Piastri in third. The victory allowing Lando to close within 3 points of his teammate in the driver's standings. Now, much will be debated about whether or not the mandatory 2 stops worked or not, but what must be said is this. Monaco is a race weekend like no other. Yes, there's no overtaking, but there's more to motorsport than just purely overtaking. And I, for one, would rather watch a driver stalking another around Monaco than watch him cruise up to within 1 second, get the DRS and simply cruise past. The skill and bravery it takes to drive these cars at speeds they do around the streets of Monaco is enough of a reason to keep it on the calendar. A full harbour of boats is another. Monaco is the jewel in the F1 crown, and it's the jewel for a reason. It's the one race weekend most look forward to, and judging by the amount of press, sponsors and celebs that were there on this weekend, it's going nowhere soon. Well, that's another rundown, and we're now a third of the way through the season with 3 drivers within 20 points of one another. It has been a cracking season, and it promises to be even better as we move forward. Next up is Spain and the introduction of the new rules regarding the new front flexi wings. Will it bring McLaren back to the pack, or will it finally help Ferrari reclaim some form and pace? Only time will tell. One thing is for certain though, if you subscribe to our channel, you'll find out next week. So thanks for watching our take on the Monaco Grand Prix. Like I said, if you're not already, please like and subscribe. It does help us out a lot. And if you're not already, please follow us on Instagram at CNK Motorsport. Until next week in the Spanish Grand Prix, it's ciao for now.